10 quotes that changed my life and how. The first is that all things must pass. Of everything that we learn from history and nature, the constant is that all physical things have a start and an end, despite how grand or how small they are. Sometimes we can get caught up in a feeling for a few days or a few weeks, months, and begin to feel as if that feeling is going to last forever and that there is no way out of it. We almost start to subconsciously sabotage ourselves from being able to get out of the feeling because it's been so normalized and we feel like it will never pass. In situations like this, two things are needed: the want to change and the knowledge that change is possible. Accepting that things aren't always going to be like this and they don't have to continue being this way. It's helped me out of a dump when I feel like nothing is going right, because I accept and I acknowledge everything is going to keep changing, everything is going to keep moving. The way I feel now will not be the way that I feel tomorrow or next year. The second quote by Socrates: to fear death is nothing other than to think oneself wise when one is not. For it is to think one knows what one does not know. No man knows whether death may not even turn out to be the greatest blessing for a human being. And yet people fear it as if they knew for certain that it is the greatest of evil. We as humans have an innate fear of death for good reason. First and foremost, we just have a fear of the unknown. We have a fear of things that we are not used to. Survival instinct, maybe. We just have an innate fear of the unknown, and death is the biggest unknown because there's no evidence about what happens afterwards. There's belief, but no stone cold evidence. Our second fear is probably linked to the pain that the people left behind feel, and the pain that can be linked or that can cause the death, like the pain through disease or the pain through injury. A lot of negative feelings are tied and linked to death. However, we actually don't know what happens after death. We don't know if it may be the greatest blessing. We have theories, we have religions, we have beliefs, but we have no definitive proof. All this is to say we shouldn't assume that death is something to be afraid of. Now, this quote has made me less afraid of the time when my number is, finally called. Because I don't know what's waiting for me on the other side. I'll be sad, 100%. I feel like I'm leaving behind my loved ones. But I will try not to feel fear of what is on the other side. Quote number 3. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. We come across this where we see people that we want to help out. They may be suffering in a situation that may be self-inflicted, or it may just be due to circumstance. They come to us for help, or they come to us to at least talk about the situation or the problem that is they're going through. We can often believe in ourselves that we know the correct answer that's going to help this person out of this mess. And all they need to do is listen to us and everything will be okay. And when they don't listen to us, we then get frustrated. And, this proverbial horse comes back to us and they still haven't drank, so they remain thirsty. And it is their journey to learn what's going to quench that thirst. Because what's to say that what helped quench your thirst is even going to help quench their thirst? This quote taught me I need to be understanding of other people's situations and don't disregard its severity because, I think I have the solution and I think, that's a quick fix. I've been there, done that. No. Because in the horse's head, it might be the end of the world. It doesn't know if it will ever quench its thirst. You can lead by example, but don't force the horse to drink the water. It will drown it. Lastly, it's helped me to no longer get frustrated. Instead, I just feel gratitude that they feel that they can come and talk to me to express problems. Quote number 4. Fortune favors the bold. Opportunity lends itself to people who take risks, to people who try new things, and most importantly to people who are always open to new ideas, changes and possibilities. This helped me understand that the more things you try, the more chance you give opportunity to find you. If a fisherman was to always fish in the same waters as everybody else, and everyone in their village has always caught the same fish, the fisherman could stay in those waters and catch the same fish as everybody else, or he could take the risk and traverse to waters that others have not. And there's a chance that there won't be any fish in those waters. So instead he'll try to go to other waters and other waters, and eventually opportunity will find him, and he'll find new fish that people in his village haven't had before. And it's all about taking that risk. I realized that I could do what other people did and take the route that has already been deemed as safe. And then they get the same results as what everyone else has got. Or I could really push myself to try new things and create a new opportunity for myself and see where it goes. If I fail, I'll pick myself back up again and know that there's still opportunity out there. More often than not, the safe route isn't going anywhere, but opportunity won't last forever. Opportunity can be a temporary thing. It can be a window that opens and closes. If you are there ready for it, you'll snatch it up. Quote number 5. Actions prove who someone is. Words prove who they want to be. In a world full of people who can freely say what they want and make empty promises all they want, words seem to have lost value. My dad once told me that it's best to monitor and watch people when you enter a new group, because if done right, you can learn more about people than they would ever tell you. The knack is to be non-judgmental and simply watch. Listen and learn by what people say, and more importantly, by what people do. People can say that they want to be a better person. People can say that they want to help you. And people can say that they want to change their habits. However, you shouldn't hold your breath until you've seen action to indicate that there is truth to this statement. What steps have they taken to prove that their words are actually true? This isn't to say don't believe a word from anyone in life, but take words with a pinch of salt. Actions require more effort than saying words. Actions can require actual struggle and courage. As for myself, this quote has spurred me on to taking more actions towards the person that I actually want to be, and trying new things instead of just saying that I'd like to try new things. Actually going and trying new things. So yeah, it's giving my life more colour and more depth. Quote number 6. A house divided against itself cannot stand. This is a focal problem that the world faces as a whole, I believe. We've allowed division to come between us. It's distracted our attention from the more threatening issues to our species as a whole. If you to take the quote as a house, and the house can be any type of group of people. It can be a family, it can be a friendship group, it can be a city, it can be a country, or it can be the world. Problems start to catalyze when people within the house start to blame each other, and they start to divide themselves based on differences, be that physical differences, philosophical differences, political differences, instead of coming together based on similarities and trying to solve the problem. I believe that the big lacking thing is recognizing that they all suffer, leading to a more cohesive and stable society. where despite what you believe and despite what I believe, I want you to be happy and you want me to be happy. And the proverbial house is looked after because we all want each other to be happy, even if we don't have the same beliefs or we don't all look the same. We just know that you can experience suffering, I can experience suffering. What can we do to mitigate this as a whole? Having the ability to see problems and anxieties from someone else's point of view can help us whittle down the boundary that keeps us all divided. I try to look for similarities nowadays instead of differences and try to get on with more people, even if they choose not to get on with me. Quote number 7. All that glitters is not gold. Things that attract attention are not always as valuable as they may first appear. We see this truth played out on a daily basis. We're always being sold the next new thing. Even if the last model came out last year or 6 months ago, it's like, no, you need this version. This is the newest version. And replacing the word want for need. You need the fastest and latest version of this item. Being told that it will fill a hole in our lives and our lives will be more accomplished and fuller simply by owning this new item. However, as this cycle often goes, it's only temporary satisfaction. By the purchase of this thing, there's always something newer and more glittery just around the corner. You can't think that your problems are going to always be fixed by having the newest and shiniest items and the best car and the best house. No, because there's always going to be newer. Like the very first quote said, all things must pass, especially material. But somehow through marketing, we've been sold that a lot of things are now a solution to problems that don't exist. Instead, try to find an answer that actually reflects what having this item will achieve for you. Oftentimes when you melt it down, your answers will span from, are you buying it for status? Are you buying it for pleasure/comfortability? Or are you buying it to solve a problem? Quote number 8. Your boos mean nothing because I've seen what makes you cheer. If you can see what people support and it doesn't align with your values or beliefs, why should you care about what they disapprove of? Why should that affect your choices if it's something that you want to do? For instance, if someone is a huge fan of, let's say chocolate ice cream, and you want to get into the ice cream making business, but you want to specialize in strawberry ice cream, why would you go to a person who only likes chocolate ice cream and ask them their opinion on the strawberry ice cream? More often than not, they're going to tell you, oh no, I don't like the taste. Tastes terrible. And it might taste bad, but they are a very inaccurate measure of the taste. What makes them cheer. It's chocolate ice cream. You shouldn't let that be a reflection of how good your art is, because you're pitching it to the wrong market. It doesn't have to even necessarily be something creative, but say that you just have an opinion and it is juxtaposed to someone that you're having a conversation with. Say that you are talking to someone about your interracial marriage and you know that the person you're talking to is a racist. Why should you care if they boo your interracial marriage? Because you know what makes them cheer is racism. It doesn't make sense. Don't care about what everyone thinks. Quote number 9. Push through the pain. Giving up hurts more. There's nothing worse than giving up early and regretting what could have been later on down the line. For instance, say that you're striving towards something, but the pain becomes too much. Say it's that you're working out, or say it's that you're trying to start a business, but the pain and the discomfort becomes too much, so you stop. 2 years later, you see someone with the physique that you were trying to attain, or you see someone who started the same business that you were trying to start. That regret is gonna hurt more and last longer than you working out, or than you spending more hours trying to start that business. When you nail it down, like, pain and discomfort are often very temporary things, whereas regret can last a lot longer and it can hurt deeper. Oftentimes, this is leading to another kind of quote, I guess, Miyamoto Musashi, but being preoccupied with a single leaf won't let you see the tree, and being preoccupied with a single tree, you'll miss the entire forest. Focusing solely on the small picture and how you feel in the moment won't allow you to focus on the bigger picture and what it is that you might be able to achieve. You have to pay attention to both the individual tasks and to the broader goals of the big picture in order to achieve success. This has changed the way that I approach next to everything I do. In anything that can deliver discomfort in life, whether it be business related, whether it be fitness related, or whether it be down to creativity, or whether it be down to any form of discipline, meditation. I try to put myself through the discomfort and the pain and know that I'm taking steps towards the person it is that I want to be. I know that if I can get through this bit of pain, I'm a step closer. Last quote, number 10. If I can control my body, I can control my mind. So what am I? If you look at your hands and you move your index finger, you can move your index finger at will. The same with your mind. If you're to say, calculate 2 plus 2 in your mind and hear 4, I'll give you a moment. What's 2 plus 2? Answer in your mind. You heard it. Both of those actions are relatively easy and require little to no thought. And now the attention turns to the quote. You are able to control your body like a tool, and you are able to control your mind like a tool. You say words inside your head, you hear them. So the question remains then, what am I to be able to hear that? You can control a car, but you don't confuse yourself with the car. You can use a calculator, but you don't confuse yourself with the calculator. So why is it that we often identify as our body something we can control, and we often identify as our mind another thing that we can control? We are neither. We just can control both. We are the thing that can hear the voice in our head. Once I started to understand this, I'm not saying I'm there yet, but it can help attain that mastery over both the body and the mind as we see them as separate to ourselves. We can push past our body's limits and control our emotions and our thoughts and not experience them firsthand and not become so overwhelmed by them. Instead, we can try to witness them. We can try to observe them like clouds floating over. When I actually remember to try and put this into practice, it can help me feel like I'm not so much attached and controlled to my emotions. I can still experience them, but I'm no longer a slave to them. Instead, it allows me to be able to make choices and decisions with a calmer mind state. It reminds me that this is just a temporary vessel experiencing temporary emotions. Again, you just feel like you're more attached to the bigger picture. But yeah, those are 10 quotes that have helped change my life and change the way I think and change the way I see the world. I hope that they can help you. If you enjoy, please subscribe. and I'll see you in the next one.